Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, let me start then. Are you able to see it?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anup. Thanks once again, Puneet. This is my second ALD presentation. I'm going to talk about a fairly small SME company. It's a new, fairly newish, it's a 4-year-old company. Basically, they deal with refurbished computer work, mainly laptop and desktop. So when you guys think about refurbished laptops, what comes to your mind? The following things usually crosses your mind. Mainly, you're worried about its physical condition. You can expect some scratches and dents, missing broken keys, sometimes damaged screen, poor pixel quality, poor battery life, and you're worried about its functionality. Well, Newjaisa is in this space to change this perception and create a new niche area. So Newjaisa Technologies is a direct consumer, and now they are offering to direct B2B space as well, specifically in terms of educational institutions and small SME companies. They are dealing with refurbished IT electronics company. It was founded in 2020 by two individuals. I'll talk about the founders in a minute, with a mission to provide high quality, affordable, and refurbished electronics while promoting sustainability by extending the life of IT assets. It's a publicly listed company on the NSE Emerge platform. In 2020 through 2023 October, they listed. It's headquartered in Bangalore. At present, they have around 50 to 55,000 square foot facility, and they are expanding it by another 8,000 square feet in this thing. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. What Newjaisa offers is a product that is virtually indistinguishable. As the name suggests, Newjaisa, as good as new. This means a laptop which is flawless with surface without any dents, a screen with no dead pixels, and a battery that lasts for several hours. They even offer a warranty on laptops that they sell. In today's refurbished this thing, where you have competitors who are basically traders, they do a small bit of touch up, work on a bit of the surface area and all, and sell it. Newjaisa has invested in developing capabilities to repair as much of a laptop as possible in-house and minimize the parts they have to replace. This is visible in the 47% gross margins that they are able to make on their products. Yeah. This is what Newjaisa offers: scratchless, lowest price, 14 days return, 1 year warranty, lifetime buyback, and all their products come with inbuilt quick heal antivirus security, and they also come with software integrated. So why look at refurbished market? What is the total addressable market? So if you look at refurbished PC market in India, is showing significant growth potential compared to other countries. When you look at the global market size, it's valued at around 11.3 billion in 2023, which is expected to grow nearly double to 22 billion in 2033. So growth rate, India's refurbished PC market is a part of the Asia Pacific region, which is predicted to grow at the fastest pace during the forecast period. What are the market drivers for Newjaisa? India's PC penetration is currently at 13%, significantly lower when compared to developed countries like USA and European Union, and compared to China, which has a growth penetration of about 47%, indicating a high growth potential. They are looking at increasing demand due to affordability and sustainability concerns. And there is a growing popularity of refurbished and used PCs as an alternative to expensive laptops. Now, if you look at this graph, you can see that PC sales in India is increasing per year around 16% CAGR, and household PC ownership, as I just quoted, in India is around 13% when compared to around 80% in the developed countries. So what this gives Newjaisa an opportunity is a huge price difference between new and refurbished high configuration PCs. And corporates has this tendency to scrap the PCs every 3 years, 2 to 3 year period, where this becomes an opportunity for Newjaisa to source these laptops and renew this and sell it. One second. And this also has a reduced carbon footprint drives, and this leads to a CSR-led demand as well. As I said, refurbished PC market in India is estimated to reach approximately 2.5 billion by FY33. The market is experiencing significant growth with a projected compound annual growth rate of 6.5% in India itself. So the major players in India at this point, although Newjaisa being a very new 4-year-old company, they're already in the top 5 in terms of refurbished players. And the rest are Electronics Bazaar, Renew IT. Renew IT is almost, they started in 2012 or 13, but still they are not able to break the market. And then you have established players who have started like Dell, Asus and all. This is basically an unorganized market. About 90% is unorganized and 10% is the current organized players has a place. So the organized players are going to increase their market share by at least 50% by 2028. And therein lies the opportunity for Newjaisa to capture this market. So when you look at the strong, the line that Newjaisa has built in is the most important part of the USP. They have tremendous intent and attention to detail to bring a laptop to perfection. From the moment they receive the inventory, what they do is they have a quality check team that immediately checks some 70 plus parameters for each laptop to understand what parts can be repaired in-house and what parts need to be procured. In this industry, they look at the matrix called as RRC, repair to replacement component. If you are able to repair rather than replace, then you can save on the margins. And Newjaisa is in a unique place where they claim to repair about 80% of the components that's found in a laptop or a desktop. And that is their USP, and that's their gross margin is around 45%, when the rest of them are have very low gross margins. So what they do is all laptops are logged into their proprietary ERP system for complete traceability of workflow from the moment they receive it to all the work done on the laptop, and finally the finished product. So they know which employee has worked on any given laptop, and if they are having many complaints, and they can trace it to who's the employee who has repaired it, and they can set right the things. Each part is tagged with a QR code. The repair process includes a clean room facility as well. So right at the moment, they have, I'll show it on the next slide. Yeah, this is their current setup in Bangalore. And they have a small experience center just outside their workshop where they have displayed the units and all. At the moment, it's about 50 to 55 square foot facility, and they are adding another 8,000 square foot, which specifically for desktop. The employee count has increased tremendously from around 50 in the first year to around 500 now. They can, at the moment, produce around 400 units per day, and which they are planning to increase. Even they have plans to buy a 3D printer. Currently, it's outsourced so that they can make up the hardware parts and all those stuff. So these are the founders. Vishesh Handa, he's the main one. They started as a bootstrap company in 2020 in a 1 BHK flat. Vishesh Handa is a IIT Mumbai graduate and from IIM Calcutta. He has extensive work experience working with the likes of HSBC and for the past 5 years, he was working in Google. He resigned just to start this startup company. Mukunda, he's the man behind the day-to-day operations in the workshop. He has an extensive experience, especially dealing with the reverse logistics companies like Blue Birch and Axel Frontline. Especially these companies, they deal with end-to-end refurbishment of household goods as well as electronic parts. And he has extensive knowledge about this, and he is the one who has set up the workshop, and he's one responsible for day-to-day running of the workshop, whereas Vishesh deals with the rest of the operations. So basically, this is a snapshot of what they have achieved till now. Launched in FY21 with a focus on desktop and achieved break-even and secured Amazon preferred partner status on first year itself. And then in FY22, they expanded their lines to laptops, tablets, and all, and reached a revenue of 28 crores, which increased to 56 crores. They launched their customized ERP system, wherein they reduced the return rates from 15% to 7.5%. And in FY24, they have achieved a revenue of about 62 crores, listed on NSE Emerge platform. And in the first half of this year, they have already achieved 33 crores. Usually this, the second financial years is their highest revenue making, where they make around 60 to 65% of the revenue because of all the festivals and the Black Friday deals and all this stuff. Now, if you look at these are the, again, milestones, business milestones I was talking about. Right from first year, where the sales have, from 10 years, they have increased the sales to 62 crores in FY24. The number of unit sales has increased by from 10,000 to around 54,000 last year. So in total, they have sold around more than 150,000 units since they have started. The team strength from 30, they have grown nearly, now it's more than 500. And this has added up to their, although the gross margins are 40 to 40%, the top line has grown, but it's not reflected in the bottom line. And I'll explain the reasons why as we go ahead. And if you look at the Google ratings, they have 4.5 Google ratings on their website, and there are about 2,500 reviews, which is not a big amount of reviews, but again, it's not less as well. 2,500 reviews, 4.5 rating is quite extraordinary. And they have 95% seller feedback on Amazon. So they have a CAGR of about 86% revenue, EBITDA of about 101%, and a PAT CAGR of about 105% from when they started. So as per the management, they can maintain the gross margin of about 40%, and PAT, in future, they are planning to increase up to 12%. Right now, the challenges are the working capital cycle. With growth, their inventory days have quite increased, and I will explain the reasons behind this as we go forward. Now, this is their direct website success story. If you look at the active users from May, they have increased, as well as the new users coming to their own website, that has increased. And if you look at the assisted versus unassisted, the assisted sales have gone down, and unassisted sales have gone up throughout the months from April to October 24, as well as they rank among the top 5 refurbished laptops when you use the search for renewed laptops or in Google. And this is the latest organic traffic of Newjaisa. It's roughly approximately around 37,000 per day. Sorry, it's per month. Sorry, it's per month. So now, what's the difference between when you compare Newjaisa versus its competitors? Newjaisa has this in-house repair capabilities, which leads to higher gross margins. And whereas the competitors, they do a minor touch-ups approach and have lesser margins. And that's why if you look at the established players, none of them are able to break this market. When you look at the lab, where they source from, they basically source it from recyclers, corporate tech giants, and buyers of corporate lots. What Newjaisa wants to do as they grow forward, they want to the margin, the percentage of procurement from the corporate giants, they want to increase that percentage to 80% going forward. Right now, it's around 25%, and rest they get it from recyclers. The I will explain in the next slides what's the difference between buying it from recycler and corporate tech agents. When you compare with recyclers and the corporates, what's the differences in with regards to recyclers? They get a selective. They can select the laptop which they want to buy, and they get an increased inspection time. And even when once they purchase, they are able to return it if they are not able to refurbish it. But when it comes to corporates, the inspection time given is very less, but they get a larger lot sizes. And these are business used laptops, fairly in a decent condition. And it takes very little time to refurbish this. And the margins are quite high when compared to the recyclers. But this has its own challenges in terms of upfront payment, and that increases their inventory management. So going ahead, right now, Newjaisa is fairly dependent on recyclers, which the margin for the percentage of procurement from the corporate at the moment is around 25%, which they want in this financial year, they want to grow it to 40%, and going ahead, they want to take it up to 80%. And they are coming up with a plan where they are talking with the corporates where it can be a part of their CSR initiative activities. And they are in the process of getting certifications from the government of India with regards to being an official recycler of laptops and desktops. So what are the other channels Newjaisa is partnering with? They are partnering with major corporations and recyclers for a reliable supply of used IT assets. And technology partners, they have partnered with Quick Heal Technology to provide pre-installed antivirus software, enhancing cybersecurity for their customers. And they have recently tied up with many NBFCs to offer lease and EMI options for SMEs, facilitating easier access to technologies for SME companies. And they are partnering with EdTech companies and SMEs themselves to expand and reach target specific customer segments. So going ahead, I think with regards to internationally, there's a huge growth potential in South Asia and Africa. But at the moment, India itself is such a big market for them. I think the management, as per the management, they're not looking to expand internationally for the next 3 to 4 years. But this is one of the line which they want to keep it open to as a diversifying and expanding their business. And going ahead, right now they have diversified to Apple products as well, Apple MacBooks and tablets. And going ahead, they have plans to go to mobile phones and potentially other electronic categories. They want to build a strong and trusted brand synonymous with high quality and affordable and sustainable technology. The repair capabilities that they have built can be used for several adjacent electronics as well as in air conditioner and white goods as well. At the moment, I think they want to consolidate in what they have started and slowly branch out to other segments. So this is the growth strategy going ahead, what they have. They are building offline channels as in educational institutions and SME channels. At the moment, from first year when they operated, 90% of their sales were coming in from online marketplace, which for this year they have increased their own channel scale to 25% of the sales. And going ahead, they want to make it around 30 to 40% from their own website. And 30% they want to do it offline channels in terms of partnering with educational institutions and SMEs, and 30% from online markets stay. And they want to branch out to other products, as I mentioned. They are not investing heavily on the marketing side as of now. They are doing some online marketing with on Google and Meta. And going ahead, I think as they scale up, this will be a challenge for them, and they would have to look at the marketing aspect as well. This is what, and these are as a pilot they are trying out now, like hardware as a service and rental models for SMEs. And they have, on a pilot basis, they have tried a franchisee model. Offline at the moment, there are only 2 stores. One is their experience center around outside their workshop, and one recently they have opened a shop just outside in Aurangabad, connected to an engineering college. So how do they want to drive their business growth? They want to understand the technology need of SMEs and offer customized solution, provide lease and EMI options to financing partners, and focus on data security, reliability, and crucial for business continuity. So what's the core value? What they want to look at is committed to reducing e-waste by extending the life cycle of IT assets, promoting responsible consumption and disposable practice, and aligning with global sustainability goals and contributing to a circular economy. So what are the risks going ahead? The major risk I see is increasing competition from new entrants and existing players in the refurbished electronics market. Right now, as I told you, because of the inventory, they have a huge inventory. This thing, when they source it from the corporates, they have to buy in bulk a lot, and they have to do an upfront payment, which is leading to increasing inventory days as well as increasing working capital requirement. So as they scale the business, I see that they have to dilute in the shareholding as the business expands. Last October only, they have raised already 30 crores. So this is most of their purchases work on making the payment first, then picking up the lot after 9 to 10 days. During the end of the year, corporates also have targets on liquidating inventory. With scale, after the first year of operations, Newjaisa has their inventory days has increased from 60 days to 200 days now. And they need a lot of working capital to scale, as lots of materials are bought. And management is conscious of this and is working on reducing the inventory days as well as reducing the working capital cycle. Inventory with Newjaisa can be thought of as comprising the 3 different stages. One is when you directly buy it from the corporates, that's sitting in there to be refurbished. One which has already been in the refurbishing cycle, and the third one being the inventory which is already refurbished and ready to be shipped. So what are the marketing challenges Newjaisa is facing at the moment? Newjaisa is in the space of changing the consumer perception when it comes to refurbished laptops or desktop. And the current top management have skin in the game. They have left a well-paid job to start this startup. And at the moment, their hands are full with several areas of business management. The CEO is one responsible with regards to marketing, with regards to talking to the corporates and all. So his hands are full. Right now, they are creating a second layer of management, and they have hired a few of the marketing guys as well. And when it comes to sales and all, at the moment they have video call options wherein you can look at the laptops you want to buy. And before, when they started off, they didn't have this 14 days replacement and all the stuff. Now they have started it up, and that has changed their business matrix a bit. So when it comes to Newjaisa's unit economics, their top line growth is not reflected in the bottom line. That's because of the unclear unit economics due to rapid growth. Because this is a labor intensive market. Where they have scaled from 30 employees to around 500 employees, there is a period in which the employees needs lots of training, and this is the reason why the bottom line is not growing. So unit economics is not very clear, and when this plays out, then I think that net profit margin is going to increase. Right now, they're in the process of rapid hiring, training costs, technology integration, and all. Once they figure out this and scale it further, they at the moment they're doing an 8-hour shift, and the revenue this year in may be around 100 to 110 crores. And with this present setup, if they do another 8-hour night shift, the revenues with the present facility, they can scale up to 200 to 250 crores. So this is what I was talking about. Employee training leads to delayed revenue growth and impacts margin. That increases cost without immediate revenue return. But as I told you, it's a labor-intensive model, slows down scalability and profitability. And there, as they go forward and streamline this, it will be reflected in the unit economics as well. Let's look at some of their competitors. This is Electronics Bazaar. If you look at there, they have scaled the revenues from 250 crores to 660 crores from 2020 to FY23. But if you look at the margins and all, the business is almost entirely trading, generates less than 10% of EBITDA, and employee expense is only 3% of the revenues. Now, next is Cashify. Again, not a not a perfect peer, but again, they are in the business of selling refurbished mobiles as well as laptops. If you look at their revenues, they have scaled from 350 crores in FY20 to around 800 crores. Again, employee cost is very high given the trading business. Other expenses are equally high. And they are still a loss-making company. And coming next is Salary.com. Again, if you look at it, they have scaled to 500 crores in the first 4 years of operation, 30 crores at the end of 8 years, 24% gross margins in FY23, 5% EBITDA and 4% PAT margins. So looking at all these companies, no one seems to be doing any serious refurbishment work, reflected in their low gross margins and high trading line items. So looking at this now, what recently Amazon has conferred them with Sambhav 2024 as a digital disruptor of the year. They were only 6 among lots of participants who have received this. And they have recently secured a major B2B order of 1,500 units, largest order so far. So there are green shoots showing up now. I think this is not a business where I think it's going to run off in the next few quarters, but provided the net profit margin increases, then it has a long runway to go. I'll just play. I don't know whether it's going to play. Trying to play the video here. Sorry. So in terms of slides, it's a weekly chart, recently listed, nothing to hone about anything particular here. They listed at about 50% premium, 44% was the IPO price, and listed at around 72, and went up all the way up to 160 because the gross margins have grown up and revenues have grown, but it's not reflected in the net profit margin. That's why it's been beaten up, and it's around 80 at the moment. As I said, this is a share, it's not going to run off in the next 1 or 2 quarters, but can be looked at huge growth potential and profit margins. I personally feel the management has a good intention. They left a high-paying jobs and this thing, but growth, what they're aiming is around 20 to 30% in the next 3 to 4 years. I think they are a bit conservative on that part and not ambitious. I think if there is a huge potential here and they can grow at a faster rate. These are some of the references which I have collected this thing. If anyone is interested to dive in further, you can use this. Thank you. Thanks once again, and happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Anupji. One question from my side is, you have Cashify is also one business, right, which buys and sells.
Yes.
So how it is comparable to Cashify?
But Cashify is not in the business of, they are mainly in the business of mobile phones, and recently they have diversified into laptops and desktops as well. But their main business is mobile phones. And if you look at the gross margins, they are very, very low when compared to Newjaisa. Newjaisa has nearly 40 to 45% gross margins. And they are profitable from year one, Newjaisa. And Cashify is still a loss-making unit. But Newjaisa has plans to list on Cashify. They sell their products on Cashify as well.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Any other questions by participants? Please go ahead.
Thanks, Anup. One question from my end.
Yeah.
Wanted to know, like, from the management, is there any commentary on the working days improvement, and then upfront they have to pay the money to collect the laptops and other stuff from the corporates, right? Is there any fundings that working capital management kind of things they have guided anything on it?
See, what they plan to do is they want to talk to the corporates and make it as a CSR activity for the corporates. But this is a work in progress because they have to get the certificates from central government. They got the certificates from the state government in terms of naming them as a recycler as well as a refurbisher. And once they get the certificate, they will be in a position to cash in on the CSR activity of the corporates. But again, it is a capital intensive, I do agree. And going forward, if they scale up, dilution would be the only way to go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, one more question in the chat. So, any guidance to diversify into mobiles? So, desktop you have shared, they will be diversifying, but diversifying to mobile?
They have plans to diversify to mobiles as well as tablets. Tablets, they are already into it. And going ahead, I think they are keeping their options open in terms of white goods as well, because Mukunda, the CEO, has extensive experience in this. He's been dealing with the refurbishment industry for about 5 to 10 years, and he's worked with the likes of Lenovo, HP, and as a sourcing manager for them. So he's quite into it. But one, again, if I look at the management, when you say Mukunda is a co-founder, but 60% of the company belongs to Vivek Khanda, and Mukunda owns only 3.5%. But he's the main man who's setting up the workshop and all. Just in case if this guy leaves, there's a huge, because he is the operations man on the ground floor.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Okay. So, if no more questions, we will move to the next participant. Thanks a lot, Anupji. And any questions in the chat, if it comes, please try to see. Okay. So we'll move to Shubham. Shubham, can you check if you can start sharing? I have given you the co-host.
Yes, sharing. Just a minute.
Anupji, you have to stop sharing first.
Is my screen visible?
Still not. You can start sharing again once.
I put visible now.
Yes,
Okay. So
you can put in presentation.
yeah, so I'll be presenting a chemical company, Clean Science and Technology. So this is a fine and specialty chemical manufacturing company incorporated in 2003 and renamed to Clean Science in 2006. So the company stands out for its emphasis on green chemistry and sustainable technologies. They are mainly focusing on reducing environmental impact, and their products are very high value product across several key industries such as plastic, pharmaceuticals, agrochemicals, FMCG. Uh, the company was founded by Mr. Ashok Boob and Mr. Siddharth Kichki. So Ashok Boob is uh, quite a, like, he have worked in a chemical company for a long time. He was also the um, director in Mangalam Drugs and Organics. And recently, Parth Maheshwari is the son of Mr. Ashok Boob, has joined the company. So the promoters are like quite good in their fields, and they are working like really nice. They currently have 3 plants. Their fourth plant is recent, I think this month, or is like being commercialized. They have 4 plants, total 4 plants, but 3 are in full production, and fourth is on the way to commercialized. So these are plants are near Pune in Kurukum area. So each of these units have a separate R&D for their, like, separate R&D units. Each plant have separate R&D units, and they have multiple, like, each section is totally independent of the other. So it is like very easy for them to move products, and there are also no like issues while moving products. So there are chemically like there's no issue occur, and it's safe and like really sound. Moving to the next slide. So they are currently majorly doing exports business. So they are currently present in across 30 locations across the globe. They have also 4 manufacturing units with state-of-the-art pilot facilities, and their R&D is also quite good. They have approximately 90 members in their R&D team, and they have a good number of PhDs also in their R&D. And they have like quite a good certification accreditation from multiple partners and also from multiple governments. Also, they are a zero debt company, and they have only 2 crore debt, which is a lease debt. So that is like quite nothing comparing with the assets they have and the kind of accuracy they have of the company. So they are quite good in anticipating the demands and making new products which suits their which suits their sellers. I mean the buyers, that they are their customers. And so these are the various locations that they are in present. They have warehouses in like most of the like continents, I think. They are one in USA, in North America, South America, and India. They have all the factories and manufacturing units in India only. There are 4 units, as I have told earlier also. So so as I told, they started in 2003 and they renamed the company in 2006 to Clean Science Technology. In 2009, they commercialized the MHQ and glycol production. And in 2011, they manufactured 4-MAP, and all the processes that they are using to make these are quite ingenious and new. So their margins are really good. Also, the byproducts, they don't have like very large number of byproducts, and also their discharge is really almost nil to zero. They don't have any waste discharge. In 2018, they commercialized unique vapor phase route to manufacturing NaSoil. This vapor phase route to manufacturing NaSoil is like nobody else has able to crack that, and their margins are like mainly due to these good patents. Sorry, not patents. They have the processor, developed the processors in their like in-house R&D, but they don't have any patents. So why they don't have any patents is like the promoters think that like they don't believe in patents. So if anyone can develop it, it is like this might be a con to this company, but it is very hard to develop, and they took quite a time to develop these technologies. In 2020, they manufactured DCC, and in 20 and PBHQ and TBHQ plants they have commercialized. And the 2022 they have expanded the capacity of MAHQ and glycol and BHA by 50%. So in around 2021 and 2022, they also seem a downtrend in the glycol. There was some issue in the Indonesia. There was some issue in Indonesia related to glycol. It is used in cup syrup, so there was some issues with the companies in like health. There was some, so the demand for glycol really fell down for Indian exporters. So they at that time they get affected from that. So also in 2023 they commercialized the plant to manufacture HALS and 770 and 71. So these HALS a series of chemicals they are the only producers of HALS in India currently, and they are also doing Capex for like three specialty chemicals in 3 fields. One is like FMCG and performance chemical and pharma intermediaries. So their revenues are also quite good. From you can see on the screen, like they started from 1 crore and they are continuously growing at a good space. In 2021 and 2022, due to these like the corona and other destocking and there were several problems, so their growth was growth was good there, but the margins fell around that time. So they are going to achieve that margins back again. Currently they are like 800 crore, around their revenue is around 800 crore, and they are targeting for a 2.5x in the revenue in next 3 years. This is like they are targeting this revenue because of the expansion they are doing currently, which I will be like explaining in the later half of the series. So they are mainly in these 3 chemicals: performance chemicals, pharma and agri, and FMCG chemicals. So for performance chemicals, their main products and legacy products are MEHQ, BHA, and TBHQ. So MAHQ is a polymer stabilization, that is acrylic acid. They also export this acrylic acid to China, around 30%. I think their export, around 30% of their export is to China. So they have which shows that they have a good manufacturing process, that they are exporting even to China, which we know that China is dumping, China is good in producing these kind of chemicals and all that in greater quantity. The BHA and TBHQ are food preservatives, and HAL series is used UV stabilizers for plastics. So mainly HAL series is used. One is HAL 710 is used in water treatment, and other in use in polymers, basically to increase the durability of the plastics and other thing. And for the pharma intermediaries, their focus is on anti-inflammatory and anti-asthmatic drugs. They have also launched in Q3 FY25. They are targeting to like introduce a substitute which currently we import from China. So the current market, they are expecting that they will cover the 40% of export that we are doing from China. So they are targeting that also. Currently, they guess like their estimates are like they will be generating a revenue of around 90 crore from these pharma in intermediaries. And also after the approvals, they will also start expanding into the international market for this anti-inflammatory and anti-asthmatic drugs. And for the FMCG chemicals, they are into anisole and other aromatic chemicals, mostly used in businesses like fragrance soaps and other FMCG products. So FMCG sector is also growing, so that will cater to the demand also. And also they are the greatest producers of largest producer of anisole in India, I think. Yeah, in India. And they are also they themselves consume most of the anisole that they made. So they are like backward integration is really good there. So this is the revenue mix by segment. You can see the performance mix is 69%, and pharma and agro 18%, and FMCG is 14%. This is the comparison from 24 to HY, like first half of 24 to 25. And you can see the revenue mix also here. Mostly they are increasing the export to China to 22% from 20%, and America there is a slight decrease in American export, but this will be back once they have the currently they are testing a HAL series water treatment chemical in USA. They have provided to a few clients, but it will take 2 to 3 months to get the approvals, and all customer will approve the check how this is working, and they will approve the deal. Then that will also be improving with time. China is also witnessing a good growth. So their demands, the product that the Clean Science is making also has a good demand in China. So they are also expecting that they will increase the export to China. So they are quite innovative, as like I have told already, that they have developed many technologies they have many in-house technologies which are like quite effective, and that their yield is very nice. They can maintain around 40 to 50% margins on all on a segregated basis. Sorry, not segregated, in all like consolidated basis. And they are most of the global leaders in most of the chemicals that they produce. As here you can see, they are 1 or 2 in the world and India, mostly for all the things that they are manufacturing. Their formulation is also unique, and their promoters are really good. The promoters are like in the field. They have worked a large amount, a large time in chemical sector, and also they are from the best of the institutes, which are like chemical institutes. They are also manufacturing facilities. As I've already told, their facilities have zero liquid discharge and a strong focus on safety and all the regulatory meets. They have a good number of partners like customers. They have good numbers of customers, and their customers are really nice. They have long standing relationship with them. So it is very unlikely that the customers will move away from them in recent futures. So this is the revenue. Yeah. So they have 4 R&D units. I told they are the 4 plants. Each plants have 1 R&D unit, and 2 are in pilot scale. So these are the chemistry that they do in-house: oxidation, alkylation, catalyst, halogenations, and these are the they have good technologies that they have developed in-house. Also, their R&D team like grew from 1 PhD to 9 PhD, and they have currently 90 scientists in the 4 R&D facilities inside the 3 or 4, like currently 4 campuses in them. So these are the chemistries that they currently support or they have in-house. These are the chemistries, and these are the tools that they have, and these are the pilot equipments that they are mostly like working on. And it will be like next 2 to 3 years they are doing a like they are expecting a major growth in all these sectors, and they will be like they have currently 3 capexes going on. One is going to be live in I think Q4. They have some already some planned around the 15th to 25th December, but they have the customer is not yet informed them, so they are waiting for that. And 2 of them are gonna go live in like one in July 2025 and another in like till December 2025. So this is the chart. So they are currently like approximately down from 2500 to 1400, and I think they have bottomed out quite well, like bottomed out. This is as you can see, they are like from 2 years that they are moving in quite a close range in 1500 to 16, like 1200 to 1600 range. And once these capexes goes live and they achieve the expected, like they are also only I think 15% in the current utilization is 15% for the halls, and other are only 70% utilized for their MAHQ, BHQ, all the legacy chemicals that they were making. So once they go live and increase the utilization, the revenue will show up, and that this this could move quite well in the next coming 2 to 3 years. So this is a mid-cap company from the market size, you can see. And their ROE, their like matrices are quite good. Stock P is 58, but 58 I don't think is very bad in the current condition, as they don't have any debt or anything. And their accruals are also really good. They have like all the capex is done from the in-house accruals, so there is no loan or anything like that. Sales is going up, you can see, from the 2018 to 2014. Operating profit margin is also going like they are good. You see that this is in 2021 15%. This was one of like OPM. They won't be able to maintain that, but the promoters are sure that they will be able to maintain a 40% OPM going forward. This won't fall below 40%, as their yields are getting quite good. And once they like master, they are already like doing quite good in the chemical processes. So that is the case here. So also their their assets have grown like steadily from 100 crores approximately to 650 crores today, almost 6 times, more than 6 times I think. Their reserves has also grown 5 times, more than 5 times, from a 186 crore to 1287 crores currently. And they will be doing, and also they are like after these 2-3 years, which their 3 capexes, once they go live, they are also planning something, but they haven't disclosed anything yet, but they are planning something. Also, their Capex plan overview has like total planned investment is 300 crore, which is focuses area will be health expansion, water treatment chemicals, performance chemicals, and pharma like intermediate facilities. In water treatment chemicals, they have invested 150 crore, and they are targeting the launch to be by December 2025. So as the name suggests, this is a industrial water purification treatment chemical. So revenue approximately, the revenue potential will be around 300 to 320 crore for this water treatment chemicals. And for performance chemical expansion, their investment is also 150 crore, and this will target launch is around July 2025. And this revenue is also will be around 350 crores annually. And for the pharma intermediary, they have also invested 30 crores, and this is they like, as I have told earlier, their target launch was in Q3 25, but they have a little bit delay from the customer side. So in a month, in a like coming month or two, in the Q4, this Q4 also, we might see a good revenue from this. Their revenue potential from this pharma intermediate is around 80 to 90 crore annually, and this is the like within India, all the consumption will be the within India. Promoters have also is like the promoter stake is also 70 approximately 75%. So this is the maximum which is allowed by the regulations. So they cannot increase. So they are at max that they have 74.98% promoters holding, and there are also two Axis MFs mutual fund that are invested in this, and there is one Nomura India Investment Fund which is also have a 1.5% stake in this company. So their revenue target is 2.5x in approximately 3 years, so around 2400 crores in 3 years. And they are like I have told earlier also that they are present across the globe. So their distributors are also in US and Europe, and they have a very good backward integration and innovation, and their R&D is also quite good. For the comparison, so MAHQ and BPA and AP is also made by Camlin Fine Chemicals, and also there is one Vinati Organics, which are their like competitor. Vinati is I didn't find that Vinati has started making MAHQ. They have planned to make MAHQ and BHA, but they I was not able to find that what are their progress on this. So I don't think currently Vinati has anything like Vinati is going to come up anytime soon. For the Camlin, they are producing MAHQ and BHA, but their margins are very low, and their yields are also not good. So as their operating profit margins are 40%, so I don't think Camlin is also will able to like make a dent in in the profits of Clean Science and other things. Similarly, for the Goicol, and Goicol is also like Camlin also making Goicol and for MAP, but they are not able to like achieve the margins that the Clean Science have achieved. And I think that's it. I'm done with the presentation. Anyone have any questions?
Thanks, Shubham. So how much is dependency for China for this company?
So the raw material that they source are totally from within India. So they only I think 8 to 10% they source from the China. So the raw material, there is no issues with the related to the raw materials that they procure.
Okay. And another question from the chat is they have expanded their fixed assets. So which
Yes.
products they would have expanded possibly where they have done this investment?
So these the investment is across three categories. One is like 30 crore for the pharma intermediaries, and performance chemical is also 150 crore, and another 150 crore for water treatment chemicals.
Okay. So any other questions from participants? Okay. If no other questions, we'll stop it here. Thanks a lot, Shubham, for presenting Clean Science.
Thank you.
Yeah, along with Dr. Chintan, Clean Science looks like a good story, but beaten down at this point of time. Yeah, you can stop sharing.
Yeah, just
So I will be sharing my screen. Once it is visible, let me know, guys. It's visible?
Yeah, Pradeep.
Yeah. Okay. We'll start with the last presentation for this ALD4.0. And the company that I am going to present today is KRN Heat Exchanger. I would put my key investment thesis upfront. So the thesis is there are tailwinds in this HVAC and refrigeration sector. And the company is doing capacity expansion with the aim of maintaining or increasing the higher margins in the business. And they are also trying to reach the broader market. And that creates a long-term tailwind for the company. So it's not about a few months or few quarters. The things they are trying to do may be a kind of 3 to 5 year story basically that is going to be played out. So it's a recently listed company, and the stock has moved really fast initially, and now it has come back to certain 20% down, I think, from the top, and possibly might be giving a good opportunity there. So this tailwind is into the sector which is looking for an energy efficient and sustainable solutions. So how it will going to impact the carbon emissions, we'll study that as well. So coming to the business, so they are primarily manufacturing the fin and tube type heat exchangers. So there are different type of heat exchangers, and this company is specifically into fin and tube type. And HVAC is full form is called as heat, ventilation, air conditioning. R stands for refrigeration. So the topic is basically HVAC R solutions: heat, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration. Now, if you go step by step into each of these words, you will see where they are being used. You see the shopping malls, you see the trains, you see the metros, you see the industrial capex, you see the refrigeration story, you see the cold refrigeration, logistics, everywhere. Everywhere you are using some kind of heat, ventilation, air conditioning stories basically. So the founder found this really interesting space and jumped into this space in 2017 and quickly established itself as a manufacturer and exporting of this solutions. So what they are trying to use is non-ferrous metals like aluminum and copper, so that the corrosion should not happen into the parts. And they are building heat exchangers, water coil, condenser coil, evaporator coil, and these are used for efficient heat transfer between the fluids. So again, if I go to the heat exchanger, little bit on that, heat exchangers transfer the energy from one fluid to another without these fluids getting in contact with each other. So the process is mostly conduction. So the fluid is going through the tubes in one channel, another tube comes in, picks up through the conduction the heat of that and pass it to the outer world. So basically, if you understand, this provides a mean of regulating the temperature. And once you do that, it enhances the efficiency of the machines, averting the overheating and other potential hazards which could lead to explosions or some other things. So definitely the improvement in safety standards also improve. Now, type of heat exchangers are shell and tube, fin tube, plate. Now, materials used in the first one is carbon steel, brass, titanium. Second one is also almost similar. And the third one is mostly on the titanium. So third one is a little bit different as compared to the first two ones. Both copper and aluminum, as we said, they are non-ferrous metals. And they are being used because of different advantages here. So one primary advantage that we see is high thermal conductivity for both aluminum and copper. Weight-wise, aluminum is much lighter, and corrosion resistance, both aluminum and copper are doing that. They are most durable in terms of these metals, which are being used along with the other qualities. And then recyclability-wise, aluminum is again a highly recyclable material. So this again gives an advantage to the business. Plus, ease of fabrication for the copper, it is highly malleable and ductile. So that's why these two materials are being commonly used in the heat exchangers. Now, shell and tube heat exchanger followed by the fin tube. They are the two largest product segments in the heat exchanger industry in 2023. If you see this chart, pie chart, you can see that 53% and 21%. So almost 74% of the industry is controlled by these kind of heat exchangers. So there you can see that the company KRN Heat has been into the right segment into the industry. So they are trying to cover the 74% of the industry with this shell tube and finned tube heat exchangers. This industry specifically is growing by around 11%. So most of the industries generally grow by 5 to 6 to 7%. This industry is growing by 11% overall. Coming to products, so they have evaporator coils, which are being used in air conditioners, rooftops. Then you have your fluid and steam coils, header copper parts, condenser coils. So most of the functions are related to transferring of the heat from one system to the another system. Okay. Some of these parts have been designed by the high-end CNC machines. So company is definitely investing into the high-end machines to even make those parts. So they're not trying to procure the parts from somewhere else and assembling it. So they're trying to build those parts in-house. That is the key message here. User industries wise, it caters to all the major industries like oil and gas, chemical, power, refrigeration, HVAC, and the new segments which are coming up, data centers, railways, defense. So if you see, these are the primary new scope which is coming up for this kind of solutions. Now this is a snap shows where it is being used in the use cases like residential ACs, like in the gyms we have a cassette type HVAC, we have a fan coil unit, and then commercial HVAC. Now data centers is a big story that is coming up. So every data center requires a lot of cooling there. Similarly, for the railways and the metros, new coaches are being built. So again, the lot of this kind of systems will be required there. Even a lot of electric vehicle buses and the new buses will keep on growing with the urban segment. So this product will also be used there. And then defense is a small segment, not major for this company. Apart from this, I see that commercial refrigeration is a bigger sector where a lot of emphasis is being placed on cold storage. Even while transporting these materials, a lot of the trucks have been made air cooled, right? They have been put into refrigeration category, and specific fleet have been acquired by the many companies. So this commercial refrigeration segment, along with water coolers, chest freezers, beverage coolers, this segment is going to grow definitely on the refrigeration side. And if you see the lot of companies in that segment on the logistics, which are into cold storage, that are also growing really well. Apart from this, in the civil construction, small segment, white goods like roof slabs, some small applications are also there. For example, in the swimming pool also you need a heat pump. In the medical equipments, you need something to take the heat away. So these are the smaller segments basically. Manufacturing facility wise, they have a big facility which is almost 1 lakh square feet, and they are able to produce over 1 billion units. So both the facilities are in Rajasthan, Neemrana, and currently they are at 84-85% of capacity utilization. The whole reason they are expanding is they are not able to serve the existing customers. And this is the almost maximum capacity they are able to utilize across various parts. If you understand, reaching to 100% capacity utilization is not easy, because different parts are being made in different months. So overall, promoters are saying that almost we are at the peak of the capacity. We can just be here and there 1-2%, and we are not able to supply to the existing customers. The demand is very high. So what they are doing, they are expanding their capacity by 6 times. And for doing that, they have come with an IPO basically. That is the primary purpose of IPO. Now, revenue breakup wise, if you see the first 2 items, condenser and evaporator coils, are the major ones. Geographically, they are doing primarily domestic, 85%, and 15% is the export. Domestic sales, again, it is broken down into many states. but primarily they are into Northwest. Exports wise, they have just started getting bigger in the UAE, USA, and Italy. So these are the primary countries. So they are trying to expand here. Whole point of analyzing this is, first, even they are not able to supply to the domestic clients itself. And second, there is a big scope in exports, and they are trying to grab that as well by expanding their capacity, which will increase their margins. Strength wise, if we see, they have a long term association with clients. So they started in 2017. Deakin joined them in 2018, and it's almost 7 years now. Deakin is with them. Schneider Electric business with them from almost last 5-6 years. Kirloskar again with them from 4 years. Blue Star. All these are well-known names in Indian air conditioning industry. And once they have joined this company as a client, they are not going away. Now, promoter, he has come from the shop floor. He has done the work on the shop floor in the previous businesses. He has been into different countries. He understood the demand. He is a kind of a practical guy basically, and it's really helping that business because he understands the challenges on the floor which is going on. On top of that, barriers are high because it's a quality sensitive market. You have to prove the reliability of that HVAC system into the buildings. You cannot just build or assemble something and put it towards the clients. It will not work. So it has to be proven. So there is a cycle for getting it approved. There are certain certifications that needs to be taken. So that creates a barrier of entry for 2 to 3 years for the new players to come up and build it immediately. And apart from this, new products have to be keep on building and testing. So they are doing that already, and they are almost acquiring around or serving around 15 to 17% of the market share overall as a company, though it started last 7-8 years itself. So they have necessary certifications in place. You can go through that once I share the article. Coming to the fundamental ratios now and the shareholding pattern, you can see that they have a ROCE of 40% plus, both ROCE and ROE. This shows the good capital allocation by management. Having 40% is really good. Increasing OPM. So operating profit margins percentage are increasing from last few years. Although we don't know what is the mean at this point of time, because company is still saying that we want to increase it further. But for my calculations, I will stick with around 18 to 20% at max for this. But currently, OPM has been increasing over the years. Tax is quite stable, so no surprises there. Good growth in sales and profit. You can see that last 4 years, they have been able to increase their sales by 4x. Last 2 years, almost 2x. While the profits have been also doubling down. So the sales have been increasing by 2x while the profits have been into 4x. So they are using their operating and financial leverage there. And it's mostly a debt-free company. You can see debt to equity is 0.11. So nothing on the interest rate at this point of time. And whatever they are expending, they are trying to expend from whatever money they have got from the IPO plus whatever the cash they are generating from the business. So apart from this, if you see pledging is no pledging. Now stock key looks very high at this point of time. It's a 5,000 crore market cap company. When I created this article, it has come down little bit from that point, but let's assume it's 5,000 crore market cap company at this point of time. Promoter shareholding, it's almost 71%. They have a good skin in the game. And if you see 4% and 7% is being taken by FIAs and DIAs. So only the retail part is around 17-18%. So retail has not much scope to play. It's a very well, it's a company which is in the hands of the big players. So if you understand till this point of time, then we'll go to the actual triggers of the company. First, we try to understand the macro picture of it. So global heat exchanger market is grown by 6.4% from 2019 to 23. But next 6 years, it is expecting to grow by 8%. So overall, globally, this market is going to expand. This is the message here. Traditionally, North America and Europe have been they have been the strongest market for this kind of companies. Now, global landscape is shifting as manufacturing and industrial activities are moving to the Southeast Asia side or emerging economies like China and India. So this region becomes a key market for heat exchangers. And this company is understanding that part. Large scale industrialization and this led to the demand for energy and infrastructure also. The moment more demand for energy, more demand for infrastructure, basically drives the need for heat exchangers across these sectors. Apart from this, there is an emphasis on efficient energy storage. So how it does that? So it contributes to the lower carbon emissions by reducing the heat. Basically, it is trying to create or give your building a tag of green building by taking or dissipating less heat from that building. So that tag is coming with that. Now, it's not a very big number, but if it is able to reduce to a certain extent, it will help the building to cope up with or come up with a green building tag there. So from there, that perspective, it is helping on the carbon emission side. So we understand globally it was 6.4% increase in the past few years, and globally it is now going by 8% in the next few years. Indian market is expected to grow by 15%, almost 14 to 15% in the next 5 years. So globally it is expanding. India is expanding almost at double the rate of globally. And where? Because of commercial and industrial applications, as we see on the upside of the slides are data centers, your defense, automotive, your metros, railways, all things are new. Shopping malls are coming up in every cities. So a lot of things have been as a backbone for this kind of industry, which is growing. Okay. And then there are another government initiatives like LEED and Graham, which will lead to the certain standards for the buildings, basically, which are energy efficient buildings. So these will also drive the adoption of HVAC. Apart from this, you can see the hospitals, hotels, restaurants, educational institutes. These are also gives a proper backup to the demand of HVAC sector. Now, these snippets I have taken from the company's prospectus itself, emerging trends in this industry. So here, lot of things have been happening on the variable refrigerant flow, and customers also want IoT applications in that. So integration of these components will become a bigger picture in the time to come. And there are some other companies which I am studying, which are building those IoT components with electrical panels. If you remember ALD1 session, we presented Marine Electricals, which are into development of electrical panels. And on top of that, now IoT is building. And those kind of things are also being integrated with HVAC systems in coming times. And then there are government PLI schemes, which is bolstering local manufacturing. And the number of cities that are expected to grow because of urban population and the construction boom that is happening. So all of this will lead to have a bigger demand for HVAC. Infrastructure wise, we discussed about the retail spaces, but if you see lot of new airports, lot of office spaces, shopping malls, and you see the investment from the major players like DLF, Parekh, Blackstone, Lulu Group, ITC, and the requirement of this advanced mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. So these are kind of mega projects which is coming up. India is moving from smaller project space to a bigger project or mega project space, and where a lot of land is required, and a lot of these kind of systems becomes a need instead of a luxury later on. So those demands from these sectors will also help this kind of company. Then cold storage part. We discussed that now even the trucks or the transport vehicles are temperature controlled. So there also you need this kind of storage. In the morning, Farshad shared about this PEB industry, right? Warehousing is one of the biggest clients for the PEB industry. And in that, again, HVAC is required. So some of the stocks which we have discussed over last few days, chemicals, PEB industry, IT enabled industry, data center, almost all of those companies, this company is a backbone basically. Not this company, this sector, HVAC sector. And this company is controlling around 17% of it. Now, warehousing stock demand itself is growing in the next 4-5 years to almost getting doubled. So that sector will definitely give a good boost up to this. Then demand from the data centers, and they have a calculation of that 1.3 of percentage of electricity consumption is accounted by data centers, and efficient thermal management becomes a key factor in having the right data centers. So again, heat exchangers play a good role in ensuring the ambient temperature in the premises. So this will help in the smooth functioning of a data center. A lot of servers would be there, a lot of heat would be dissipated right there. So this plays an important role there. Now, what management is saying, if you understand overall, if I go from the top, once again for your reference, what we discuss is what are the kind of heat exchangers, and this company belongs to the right industry where they are controlling almost 74% of the industry. They are supplying to that part, and they are controlling around 15 to 17%, and they are supplying to the industries like residential, commercial, retail spaces, data centers, refrigeration points, everywhere. And then they have a good strength of clients also. So if you understand and we understand the fundamentals, then we can go and understand what is the trigger which is coming up or what is the management thinking. So management focus area is only 3 points majorly. They are trying to increase the margins, they are trying to get new customers on board, and they are trying to have the expansion as well with the new products. So these 3 segments are their latest focus areas for the next 3 years. How they are trying to increase in the margins? So first they have put up a 8 megawatt solar capacity for captive usage, and the new facility which they have been building up falls into the new income tax scheme where their taxes will go down by 10 to 15% for that facility. Apart from that, state incentives from the Rajasthan government will also help them to get some incentives basically. Then they are trying to target exports to the countries like US and Europe where they have put anti-dumping duty from China. So most of these countries which this company is focusing on is from China plus one policy. So these are the potential areas where they can increase in the margins. Customers wise, you can see that every year they are trying to onboard both domestic and international customers. So every year they are almost getting 14 more customers on board. And currently they are almost serving 110 customers or more. So that means a lot of these customers remain on board once they are boarded. For example, Schneider, they started 4 years back, and that time the share was only 5 to 10% of the total volume of Schneider. What Schneider looking for the volumes, they only gave 5 to 10% at that point of time because Schneider might have different vendors. Over the time, Schneider understood their product, and currently they are supplying almost 90 to 95% of the total volume to the Schneider. So that's how they grab the big players. Coming to expansion, so they have put up a new facility in Alwar for which they have come with an IPO, and that will be added more value products. And this also enables the forward integration by having the enabling the sheet parts attaching to the plate exchanger. So sheet parts they are already making, and then they will be integrating into the new products. So that will enable the forward integration. This plant is expected to begin in 3 months from here. So things are already working there. It's investing almost 350 CR, and the IPO was almost 340 CR somewhere around that point of time. So this is a greenfield expansion with 6.6 capacity. Now, current sales, if you go back and check how much is the current sales, almost 300 CR. Company is coming with 6.6 capacity. And they are saying this 6.6 capacity, they will be able to finish in the next 3 years. So that means in 3 years, having the similar asset returns or similar return on their products, they would be able to hit somewhere between 1700 to 2000 CR sales. If they are saying that within 3 years, they will be fully utilizing that capacity of the whatever plant they are building in Alwar. So that is the scope, 6x of sales, and I am targeting the similarly 6x of your profits, although the profits can be a little bit more, but linearly taking, they could be 6x. So what is the numbers in the profit if I go back? So profits are almost 40 CR. So 240 CR would be, or 200 CR would be your profits. Now you assign 40, 50p, whatever you want to with the company, which is growing 6x in 3 years. So that company can easily be 10 to 15,000 crore market cap company. So that is the primary basis. I'm looking for a company which can go from almost a 5,000 crore company market cap to 15,000 crore market cap company if things work out well for this one. Okay. And then this is just the details of how they have subscribed to the rights issue of that new company. Coming to the new products. So they are developing 3 new products, bar and plate extender, oil cooling unit, and roll bond evaporator. So where they will be used? Now, lot of new railway locomotives are coming, and they also require transformer and oil coolers there. New metro engines, they require a cooling unit. So this segment, they are developing new, and they will be supplied for specific these segments. And as we know, a lot of emphasis has been on having more infrastructure from the railway side, metro side, defense vehicle side. So this will definitely help there. Similarly, on the oil cooling unit, they are providing for again locomotives, and the last one, roll bond, they will be providing for refrigerators. So refrigerator is again a growing segment. Coming to technical chart, 3rd January or so, when I started taking my positions there, the chart looks like something like this. It has taken a support. It has just gone very fast to the top and then fall down. It created a base. And around that time, when it was trying to break away, we have taken that some position. But recently, again, the market has fallen down, and the current chart looks like something like this. So it has fallen down and again trying to get to the levels. But if you ask me, possibly around 600 to 700 range, 750 range, it could be a good bet over next 3 years, looking at whatever the company can do. The volumes have been really, really low while falling, and while going up also, they're pretty decent. So I'm not worried that much about. So the whole point which is visible here is not many big players are selling. That's the key point here. Coming to the risk, highly competitive industry. There are big established players like Alpha Level, Denfos, Heatex, HRS. Majorly of them are MNCs. And many big players in industry, there are certain OEMs who make in-house their own requirement. So competition is intense, and they have to fight with that competition. That competition is not going to go away. But only thing which they will get benefited out of the recent expansion they are trying to do, they will start supplying more to their existing customers and to the export side. Concentration of revenue. This is one major problem I saw when I was studying this company. Top customer itself is impacting their revenue by 33%. So if one customer leaves, their revenue will be hit very heavily. And top 5 customers is almost having 55%. So this is really a red flag for me. But something, if you see over the years, most of the customers stick with them. So what they're trying to do, they are trying to increase the number of customers, both internationally and domestically, and trying to reduce the customer concentration. But it will take some impact. Recently, in the rate gain, one customer left, impacting 4% of the revenues, and the stock is finding it difficult to go up. Imagine here if it is impacting 30% of the sales. Stock will crash like anything. So this is a one major red flag which I saw in this company. Raw material cost, copper and aluminum. So currently, what they are trying to do, they are passing the cost every quarter, taking the average for the whole quarter and passing it on. So more or less, this kind of a risk is covered. Any delays in expansion possibly can hinder growth, or if the industrial market slowdown happens, that will also our projected numbers of 2000 CR sales might move from 3 years to 4-year period or 5-year period. Apart from this, stringent requirements by the clients and zero tolerance for errors. So currently, this company is able to do well in having the quality products, but something effects, it will lead to the cancellation of contracts also. And because of their customer concentration, they have to be really, really focused on the quality. So I see that this is something which can come out of the box at any point of time in this kind of company. Cash conversion cycle, it is increasing and needs to be monitored closely. Apart from this, the two major risks what I have seen is continuous advancement in the technology. As you see, data centers are increasing and a lot of spaces, GPUs and CPUs are increasing, heat servers are increasing. So there could be a technology evolvement where the companies might come out with certain products which can dissipate the heat more effectively as compared to the products made by KRN heat exchanger. So they have to continuously involve in the R&D part and build the new products. They have certain employees for that, but I think this remains a real risk. For example, there are hybrid and modular heat exchangers coming up. So modular means you can combine a lot of these heat exchangers together and build a bigger heat exchanger system or modular wise. So or usage of the new alloys which may be costly. We are using just copper and aluminum, but going to the titanium and other alloys, it might depress the margins for this kind of a company. And then there is another problem in heat exchangers which is called as fouling. This is coming from the properties of the fluid being processed and the presence of impurities. So this will affect the heat transfer efficiency and leading to again more energy consumptions, thus mitigating all the efforts of the company to go towards reducing the carbon emissions from a certain building. So again, there are solutions to this, but this may remain a critical point for customers to buy. So this will cover my whole presentation on KRN heat exchanger. This is just one company, but I'm more bullish now on the heat exchanger category segment like HVACR segment. And this is one of the listed companies in India which I found. Another peer is Anup Engineering, but that is not totally into this. So Anup Engineering also does it on the heat exchanger side, but they're not 100% into this segment itself. So this remains the only listed company which I feel in this segment where we can focus on for the heat exchange industry. So yeah, we can take questions here if someone has.
Puneet, Mithun here. This 6 times expansion is gonna happen in 3 years. So any deadline when we gonna happen when the
So plant will start right away. So expansion will happen in next 3 to 6 months itself. Utilization of that segment will happen in next 3 years. So the building would be ready, the plant would be ready in next 3 to 6 months, but they cannot utilize it 100%. They have to build new products, give it for testing, prototyping, and then the orders flows, tenders they have to apply. So they are saying that in 3 years we'll be able to utilize it fully.
okay.
Hi, Puneet. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, guys.
Puneet, one question from my end. You said that KRN is a major player in India and Anup is a smaller player. They are into other things as well. And foreign players, how much scope is there for them to enter into India market? Because it could be a lucrative market for them as well. And
Yeah,
how much
so
is the
they are
disruption that they can bring if they come here?
correct. So other players are already, so they are MNC players actually. If you see the names I have put in the risk, Alpha Level, Denfos, Heatex, and HRS. So they are all bigger players than this company. And they are
And they have
controlling
presence in
same segment.
India and
Yes, they have presence in India already. Now this is where this company has done really well. Despite having the presence by these companies, this company is able to keep the major players with them. For example, Deccan. Deccan is a well-known name in the air conditioned space. Of course, residentially, many people don't buy it, but Deccan is one of the well-known names and very well-known quality name. And once it has come to this player, it has not gone back. Schneider, it's again a well-known name. They started supplying only 5%, and now they are contributing to 95% of the volume of Schneider. Now, Schneider business will also improve, and they are also improving the percentage content of that. So the expansion is happening because Schneider is asking more, Daikin is asking more, but they are not able to supply. And based on those only things, they are going for expansion. So this is the industry where you cannot just do the expansion and then wait for the customer. You have to have certain contracts with the customer that they will be going to buy it, and then only they will go for the expansion. Now, if you study about the PG Electroplast, the Celecor, EPAC Durables, all these companies, what they are trying to do, Dixon, Ambev, they're trying to
They
expand their
anticipate
capacity,
something. Yeah.
right? And all those segments also require your heat exchangers. So from that angle, if I see, this industry is going to be big industry. And this company have been associated with the right clients like Blue Star, Schneider, Daikin, and they are slowly onboarding the small clients as well. So I don't see that impact coming back to this company in terms of competition or snatching away their market share. In fact, this company is going to snatch the market share of the bigger players. Reverse is going to happen. Yeah.
And they are still maintaining that quarterly pass on of the raw material cost to the customers. I mean,
Yes. So they're taking the average of the this index prices of LME, copper LME, and aluminum LME, and then passing it quarter to quarter. So that means they have a price control to some extent. Yes.
Yeah, because their material cost is almost like 70-75% of the overall cost. That's what makes operating leverage, right?
Yeah. But if you see their margins, right, net profit margins, it's almost 10%. NPM of having 10% is a really good number in this industry. Because until it's an IT company or asset light company, you will not see 10% net NPM. Most of the companies remain around 5, 6, 7% only. So this is able to keep it around 10% or more. I think it's around 13% if I remember it correctly. So that is a really good number, and they're trying to increase that margin by moving to the new products and exporting. Export will have more margins. So I feel that margin will stay.
One last thing from my end. If the 6x capacity comes into play, how much it is going to impact their return ratios? Because upfront they are spending a lot of money now, right?
So that money they are not doing from their pockets. They've gone for an IPO. They've taken 350 crores and spending it. So it's not going to increase their debt ratios basically. So it will not going to impact their interest numbers. Depreciation will come into picture for some time. But I think if they are able to expand towards the sales, so depreciation is small slowdown might be expected in terms of net profits, but eventually it will be overcome with that. See, depreciation is again, it will not impact the cash flows, right? Depreciation is just an entry.
Entry, yes. Okay. Thanks for that.
So one question I am seeing on the valuation front. So valuation front, definitely very high at 120 PE levels at this point of time. But that's why it's not a short-term story for me, and I am waiting for price to little bit correct before I build my position fully. And I believe that I might get that chance. But assuming 6x sales, which is around 2000 CR and 200 crores of profit, roughly 200-250 crores of profit, that will give me a EPS of 50 in 3 to 4 years. 50 EPS for a company which is growing 6x in 3 years. So roughly they are growing by 36-37%, right? Almost, or maybe more than that. A company which is growing by 35 to 40% year on year, having 50 EPS, I think you will be able to provide 30 to 40 PE ratio also. And that PE ratio re-rating might happen a little bit later. So first high PE ratio will come down as the earnings grow, and then it will be pulled up. So 50 EPS multiplied by your roughly 40 PE ratio. I'm not talking about PE ratio of 100, which is the current ratio, but assume just a nominal 35 to 40 PE ratio. I expect the stock to hit at least 2000, 2200 in 3 to 4 years. So that means from this point of 700, we are looking at 3x of story. And if luck comes to our favor, possibly margins will increase, and instead of 50 EPS, you might get 60 EPS also. And PE ratio might get 50. So there could be a pessimistic case of around 1500 I could see in 3 years. So I am getting a stock which is a doubler in 3 years to a stock which can also become 4 to 5 times in 3 years. So there somewhere in between could be a truth, right? It could be lying between 1500 to 3000 rupees in 3 to 4 years. That is a pretty decent 20 to 25% CAGR return for me. And from that angle, it looks me a valuation point. It's okay for me to enter. Maybe 10% here and there is fine for investment purpose. But overall, I see, yeah, it might do well. Technology risk, yes. So there is a risk which I have covered, that advancement in the design and technology. Now, since this company is controlling 17%, right, and the products have to be used by Dickon or Blue Star. So any new advanced technology, of course, that will be passed back to this company, that something new has come into the market, and can you research and build that product. So it cannot be independent or in doing this activity in isolation, because they have a contract with these bigger players for a year or 2 years, right? Anything which is disruptive to the market, they will get some time to play it around. They need to build their team. They have been hiring the R&D people. I think there are around 7 to 10 people in the team already, which is working on these new products. These 3 new products also came out of R&D only, right? When I'm talking about the bar and plate and roll bond evaporator, this is developed internally by their team, looking at the requirement of the bigger market. So they do have their mindset that they should explore and bring new designs to their products. But having said that, there could be a chance some new company come up with certain new designs, and there could be a real technology risk. Yes, I understand that, and that's why it's a risk item, and I cannot go overboard and playing very concentratedly in this company, right? It will become part of my diversified portfolio only. How much spend on R&D? I don't have that number. I will check that because past is not so big, 6 to 7 years, and I don't think it's more than 1 or 2% till now. But I will try to see these numbers on R&D percentage.
Hey, hi Puneet.
Yep. Go ahead.
I will add a couple of points on KRN heat exchanger. I think I suggest, like all members, to hear the promoter, Mr. Santosh Kumar Yadav, his history from where he has come, and in last 6 to 7 years, he has created a 300 crore organization. That will give a lot of clue on this business. Very, very passionate promoter. He was operations head in Lloyd Electric. So he is actually have superb insights in operational excellence of this particular field, what can be done. And I think the major success for this company has been, he has been able to build these contacts with big organizations with customized products, and hence he has been there in this field. Another very interesting thing, before raising money in IPO, he took a company from nowhere to 300 crore organization. How many promoters we can find in India who can scale a capital goods business in 6 years to this level? So this is one of the very, very interesting points. promoter is superb for this company. And another very interesting thing, if you hear the promoter, no packaging, no big English accent or anything, but knows his business extremely well, what needs to be done, and how the capital should be allocated. So this is one of the very interesting point I found about this company, along with all the things that you have already shared. Yeah.
Yeah, very good point. So definitely, as I mentioned here also, he has a very good hands-on experience on the shop floor and as well as doing the business development in the past for Lloyd's Electric. So, and he's a very, very enthusiastic young guy only. It's not, I think, around 40 years of age or somewhere. So he has time on his hand and he has business on his hands in an industry which is having a tailwinds.
Yeah,
So
and
I am
one of
really
the
bullish
things,
on it.
absolutely. One of the thing in his interview, which I liked a lot, which provides the mindset of the promoter. I think he has been asked that as our country is growing, so what he thinks kind of in terms of hard work or how much work younger guys or everybody has to do. So he gave a very interesting answer. He said that in the next decade, probably any aspirational person may have to work for like kind of 6 days a week or something, and then that work will take the generation or our country to a level where we would be easily able to afford like a developed country, all the culture of a developed country. So that also tells where he comes from, what is his thought process, and how he looks at it. So very interesting promoter, and really very good company, Puneet. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your inputs. Yeah, any
Puneet,
other
in
questions?
this for KRN, the direct competitor would be the Amber Enterprise.
Amba Enterprise.
Yeah.
Ember. Okay.
Amber.
So Ember is assembling of the products. So basically, this company will provide this kind of heat exchangers to companies like Amber and Dixon.
Okay.
So they would be more into the client side for this company. So Amber and Dixon, all these people, what they are doing, they are assembling it. They are just buying the product. They are not building in-house many of those. Just assembling it and making a final product and sending it to the customer. That's where their margins are very low, 2%, 3%.
Fair enough. Okay. So we don't have any listed players like this right now.
I don't see, apart from Anup Engineering. Anup Engineering has a well-known name and it's much bigger player than this. But I see that this company might overcome them in few years in this category, in this specific category.
Okay. By any chance, have you looked into United Heat Transfer? Uh, this is not like KRN, but they are also in the heat transfers. Have you read about this company also?
No, I have not read about this company. See, when we are talking about these heat exchangers, right, there are multiple segments. So most of the companies, what they do is they are trying to cater to small segments. If I just go to the pie chart, what I've shared, this is very important pie chart. This company is already catering to 74%. And with the new products, they are trying to target the 20% more plate heat exchangers. That means they are trying to cover the market end to end. Lot of the other players are not doing that. Even if they're listed or very small companies in the market, they are not to this level basically. And the kind of, if you go back and check their numbers in terms of sales and other things, from the time they have originated or number of years they have been into this industry, this company has grown really well. So as he said, right, 0 to 300 crores, how fast you can make it. So that means if given the same number of years, you can multiply your sales with the same zeal and the same passion to a great numbers. From that angle, I don't see much competition here at least.
Right.
Okay, so if there are any more questions, please feel free to ping me in the chat or in the WhatsApp group. I would be happy to answer you. And before we close the session, let's go to our last quiz of the day. I hope you all would be ready now. I think we have less number of people, but that's fine. It gives you more chance to win that voucher, last voucher. Right? So just put on this. So question number 9 is on the Newjaisa. Is targeting higher margins through what segment? It's from buying from retail, or it is minor touch on the laptops, or complete in-house repair. Yeah, I think we have sufficient answers here. So we'll go to the next question. So Amar, you can write the next question. KRN heat exchangers, new products which are coming up. Okay. Again, we have the good number of answers. So I will go through the answers and update you who has won the final prize for this vouchers, last quiz voucher. And just for the informations, we will have total 5 winners, giving the vouchers to them. Shrikant has won it 2 vouchers, so he will get 500 rupees, mostly because other people are not able to answer it. And then we have a best presenter award category as well, where I will share the feedback form for today's as well. And please update the ratings for the presenters of today. And that person will get 1500 rupees vouchers. Apart from that, most of the money, like 20-25 people have joined from outside. Rest of the things are free for 100 plus people. It is free of cost in this segment. So roughly 25 people have joined, and other money we are trying to donate to the orphanage, as we do for all the ALD sessions till now. So thanks a lot for taking ALD to next level this time. And I'm really thankful to all the presenters. And it's become more smoother, and I see the quality of the companies which we discussed, quality of the questions we have asked has really improved this time. So hats off to all of you. Without your support, this is not possible. I really remain indebted to all of you, basically, who made it a success. So thanks a lot. We'll soon have ALD 5.0 in few months. Okay. So
Thank you.
yeah, stop sharing and have a nice whatever left weekend left for you. Few hours.
Thanks a lot, Puneet.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, Puneet. Thanks a lot.